What's the story, Morning Glory? What's the word, Hummingbird? Thank you so much for clicking on my channel and for joining me for this review of Kandi and the Gang Season 1, Episode 6, Too Many Tuckers in the Kitchen. So, I'm at the point now where I need to have a heart-to-heart with Miss Kandi. Miss Kandi, if your show is going to come back for a season 2, you need to make some serious changes. I understand that you don't like firing people, but I'm going to have to play like Todd and tell you that you need to get rid of some people if you're going to come back for a season 2. There are some people on this show that are just so unnecessary. I have no idea why the camera is even on them. For example, I don't know if this is your cousin, your nephew, second cousin. I have no idea. Melvin. Melvin's got to go. He's not adding anything to the show. I'm pretty sure he's a great guy. I'm pretty sure he's even a better cook. But he's got to go. I don't understand why the camera ever goes to him. He's not adding anything to the show. He's not adding anything to the drama. He doesn't really have his own storyline about anything. He's just the one that cooks at your restaurant, and that's it. And what I can't stand is that because y'all are all family, and y'all have this history together, or y'all are really good friends with each other, I can't stand it when you put people on a show just because you're related to them, but you don't want to put them in a bad light. I'm pretty sure, I think Melvin's grandmother is it Aunt Bertha? I think that's his grandmother. And I know that you and Aunt Bertha had a discussion that if Melvin was going to be on the show, you were not going to make him look bad. You're not going to put him in a bad light or anything like that. But that's boring, because the power of television, just like the power of storytelling, is that you have to have some kind of conflict and some kind of resolution. Melvin is not giving us anything. There's nothing going on with him. He's just someone that lives with Patrick and that cooks in your restaurant. Why are we even looking at his face? So Melvin's going to have to go. He's not really adding anything, and he has no storyline. And Kandi, I know you want to give everybody a check and you want everybody to eat, but he's going to have to make his own way. I'm pretty sure you're paying him more than enough, or maybe you're not. I don't know. At OLG as the cook. I don't know. I just don't understand. Like, you had this idea for a show, and you knew you were going to feature people at your restaurant, and a lot of people at the restaurant are in your family, and so you couldn't say no to anybody. You just said yes to everybody to be on the show, not even thinking, okay, are they interesting enough? Are they going to have a plot? Are they going to have a storyline? Why would people even care about watching this person? I don't care about Melvin. Melvin doesn't do anything. Get rid of him. If you have a season 2, get rid of him. If you're not going to give him a storyline, and Aunt Bertha is so concerned about her grandbaby looking good and not looking bad on camera, get rid of him. Another thing, Safari and Patrick. That relationship, to me, it seems so fake. There's no chemistry between Safari and Patrick. It seems like you wanted to put Patrick on the show, and because you think he's really, really cute, you felt like he needed to have a love interest. But nobody was really popping in his real life, and so you hired this girl, Safari, to play his love interest. And then you give her this crazy job where she keeps on talking about how she does plastic surgery without the surgery, or however she classifies the work that she does. She does what does she say she do? Whatever it is, it's like plastic surgery without surgery. What the hell does that even mean? What is that? Your mother went in there to get her butt bigger, and she just put some damn suction cups on her butt cheeks, and then that was supposed to make her butt bigger. But then when she looked at herself in the mirror after the procedure was done, nothing looked any bigger. It was still the same as it was before. The only difference was now she had red cheeks. What is going on here, Kandi? The relationship between Safari and Patrick is fake. I don't believe that they were really going out for a year. The pictures that were shown in this episode to show that they've been together for a whole year, they don't seem like natural pictures that couples would take over the course of a year. It seemed like they took all these pictures all at once, and you want us to believe that they've been dating for a year. I don't believe it. I don't buy it. Another reason why I don't buy that Safari and Patrick are even really that they've been dating a year is because, Kandi, you act like you had no idea that Safari was supposedly this like she was the one that was very controlling, and that she was the one that was telling Patrick what to do and how to do it. Like, she was the more aggressive one, the more bossy one in the relationship. If they've been dating for a year, Kandi, you would know that. You would have already known that, but it was like complete news to you. I don't get that. I don't understand that. Patrick works at your restaurant. I feel like he's been working there for quite a while, and you had no idea that his girlfriend was so bossy, and he was like under this spell. Or maybe I'm missing something. They said they were dating for a year, but you acted like you didn't know that he was dating someone so bossy. Like you had no idea how Safari was like. I didn't understand that. Safari has no personality. And I know that you hired her because she's really pretty, but the girl has no personality. How are you going to be so forceful with something 1 minute and then the next minute you just kind of, you're so easy for you just to relent. For example, she was so adamant about the housewarming party. No, you're not going to have one. Absolutely not. You're not having a housewarming party. These people they don't need to know where you live. Oh no, it's not going to happen. And then Patrick goes and talks to Kandi. Kandi was like, you need to stand up for yourself, speak for yourself. Don't lose your voice in this relationship. Don't lose who you are in this relationship. So Patrick goes back to Safari and says, I'm going to have my housewarming party. And she's like, okay, what? If you were just gonna roll over and give in about the housewarming party, Safari, why were you so adamant about him not having one to begin with? You just might as well have let him have it to begin with. So that whole relationship to me is not real. There's no chemistry. Um, I don't get it. But let's get into the review. So we start off the episode with the Detroit Grannies. Okay, so these are some, I don't know what the hell this was going on. I don't know what this was, but these women, young women who dress up like grandmothers, come into the restaurant and they have like, they put a whole bunch of stuff in their bras, in their butts to make their butts look really big. And they come into the restaurant and they start twerking. I have no idea what was going on there. There was no explanation as far as who these people were or why they were there. I didn't understand it. So then we see Brian. He's taking a customer's order. And it was so funny. It was hilarious when Brian told the customer, okay, your food will be out in a few days. He says, your food will be out in a few days. I thought that was hilarious. Chandrika. This is another thing that I find hard to believe. I understand that you want to make it look like Chandrika. She's this person who doesn't really care about her job, that she's very irresponsible, that she's very, she doesn't take anything seriously except her sunglass business. She doesn't care about anything at OLG. I understand that that's the character that she's trying to play, but it's just so unbelievable that somebody could care that little about their job and you haven't fired them yet. For example, Chandrika is the hostess. So she's the one at the very front, at the front door, greeting the people, making sure that they get seated in time, keeping track of the tables that are available, the stuff that a hostess does. Why did she just leave her hostess post to go gossip with Torin outside? That makes no sense. If that's the kind of employee that she is, you would have fired her, Kandi. You, Kandi Burris, you yourself, the one who doesn't like firing anybody, you yourself would have fired. You would have given her walking papers if that was really the kind of employee that she was. Who would leave their hostess post to go gossip outside with another coworker? And so she wanted to go talk to Torin, and so she told Torin, let's go outside and talk. And Torin was like, you just gonna leave your post? And she was like, I don't care, ain't nothing going on in here anyway. And so she absolutely deserted her hostess post. Like, if she didn't care that much, why would she even be working there? Like, why did she work there then? It just seems so crazy. So while she's outside gossiping with Torin, guess what? A customer walks in and there's somebody at the hostess post. Okay, Kandi. So she goes outside to talk to Torin because she's trying to figure out who told Kandi and Todd that she had said they didn't care about their businesses, that they didn't care about the restaurant. Torin had no idea. So Chandrika, she's trying to play Inspector Gadget, trying to figure out, who could have told, so on and so forth. So she's still on that mission. Then we move on. Kandi is at Patrick and Melvin's apartment. Kandi in her confessional says that Patrick was named after her brother who had passed away. And then they showed a picture of Candy's brother. I'm assuming he passed away sometime in the 90s, I think. And it was, obviously it's very tragic. It's very sad. And she says that, she says that Patrick is like her brother reincarnate, like her brother coming back through Patrick, because he looks a lot like her brother and he has a lot of the characteristics and personality of her brother. So she takes a tour of the apartment, and I don't have a clue if this is after Safari had redecorated or decorated the apartment or before, but I see no difference in the apartment from when he first supposedly moved in until now. Oh, it's after. I guess it's after she decorated because it was her idea for him to put up the hanging television, which they call the floating TV. So in his room, there's a TV that is literally hanging from the ceiling by chains, by two chains. And it's swerving. It's blowing in the wind. Why would anybody want a TV like that? Why would anybody want to sit back and watch TV on a television screen that's not even stable? The TV was floating in the wind. Like if you sneeze, the TV will be going back and forth, back and forth. Why is that a good idea? But anyways, if he likes it, I guess we gotta love it. So then Kandi is asking Patrick about, his relationship with Safari. And, of course, whenever he talks about Safari and himself, it's always what Safari said and Safari wants and Safari this and Safari that. And so Candy's like, well, it's pretty obvious who words depends in this relationship. And so she tries to give him advice that don't lose yourself. Because in the beginning, yeah, you want to do things for your partner to make them happy. But after a while, you begin to lose who you are in the relationship. And then you begin to kind of resent your partner for that. And so Patrick decides that he's going to speak up and stand on his own 2 feet and tell his girlfriend that he's going to have his housewarming party. But they all agreed that he should not invite Chandrika, which is his ex. But okay, that's another thing. Chandrika and Patrick were not that heavy. It was just a fling. Just co-workers who just got caught up in the moment, and that was it. It wasn't like a full-blown we're about to get married type of relationship. It was just a fling. I don't understand why they're making that relationship bigger and more important than it was. It was just a fling. So this whole thing about you can't have Chandrika at your housewarming party, to me, that's so stupid. It's stupid as hell because it shows a lot of insecurity in Safari. Like if you're confident, and Patrick, if you know you love Safari and this is the woman for you, who cares if Chandrika's there or not? And Safari, if you're confident in who you are and that your man only has eyes for you, who cares if you're going to work with Chandrika all the time? What's the difference between her coming to your housewarming party? You're around her anyway at work. So if y'all are going to be doing anything, it can still be done at work, or for that matter, anywhere. So her coming to the house isn't going to stop nothing from going on. It's just stupid to me for them to be like, no, Sean. And then for Kandi to co-sign to that. You kind of think that Kandi, because she's a little bit older, she's been in the business a whole lot longer, she's a lot more experienced, that, she would have more common sense. But she even agreed that, yeah, it'd be disrespectful to bring Chandrika. Why? It was just a fling. It wasn't like a real relationship. Y'all did y'all's thing, then it was over. It was over before it even began. What's the big deal about Chandrika coming to the housewarming party? Anyways. So then we have a meeting with Todd, Kandi, Philip, and Don Juan. So Don Juan, he's got more ring camera footage. Don Juan and that damn ring camera. It's like he does nothing else but sit and stare at that damn ring camera. So he's got some more ring camera footage, and he shows Todd, Kandi, and Philip that he shows them footage of Dominique and Brandon in the back office kissing. So Todd says that they don't have to fire either one, but they may have to move them to different locations. Then they talk about Brian's sobriety. So another manager named Pebbles brought it to, I think it was Don Juan's attention, that Brian is drinking at work. He's drinking wine. Like he brought like a box wine to work, and I guess he's drinking wine at work. And so, they're very concerned about that. And I think it's going to be Don Juan that ends up talking to him. Then the old ladies show up and to the meeting. They all show up to the meeting, and they talk about selling OLG products like sauces, spices, pies, desserts, lemonade, and all of that. And I'm thinking, okay, that's a really good idea to capitalize on this whole OLG thing, because you got the show, and this is like, while, the stove is hot, go ahead and start releasing these products before people forget who the hell, or what the hell OLG is. Then Todd announces that he's going to take a crack at working in the kitchen, because they all made such a big deal about the fact that he's the owner, but he doesn't know about what goes on at his own restaurant. So then then I'm thinking to myself, okay, they're so like, oh, he needs to know what's going on at the restaurant, but it ain't going to be nice. because nobody likes Todd. Todd is really like rough around the edges as far as like how he communicates with people, and his whole personality and his whole demeanor is pretty like rough and blunt. So I'm pretty sure they're gonna regret begging him to work in that kitchen. So then Don Juan and Brian sit down and they have a meeting at OLG. They go outside because, Don Juan, he loves having these meetings outside. I don't know if it's because of COVID or what, but he claims that he doesn't want people to hear over here. Okay, Don Juan, they're going to watch it on the show anyway. What the hell y'all talked about? So what difference does it make if they hear it, the time that y'all are taping or when they watch it after everything is done? Anyways, moving on. So Don Juan is talking to Brian about his drinking, trying to figure out, like, what's really going on here because, you're going through this process of being sober, but you're bringing wine to work. And Brian really tries to downplay it. And he's like, you know what? It's just wine. It's just wine. Just to kind of take the edge off, it's just wine. And then he says, when you compare it to where I am now and where I used to be, you would understand that wine is no big deal. It's not that big of a deal for me. And that I have made like I've progressed leaps and bounds. I have just did a complete 360 because I was drinking hard liquor, a whole lot of it. I was taking drugs, cocaine, all kinds of stuff, like really hard drugs. I was in a really bad place. I was on the verge of death. So the fact that I'm sipping on some wine, that ain't nothing. So don't worry about me. I'm good. So then he tells Don Juan about his sister dying by suicide. And Don Juan had no idea. And I'm thinking that even though Brian was not working there for a while, almost a year he was away from OLG, you would have thought that when his sister had passed away, that somehow word would get around because he was still communicating with some of the people at OLG. So the fact that Don Juan had no idea, I was like, wow. How would he have not known that? Because they're all still kind of interconnected. Anyway, so Don Juan had no idea. Moving on to Patrick's apartment. So Safari comes over. And Patrick says that Safari is the one for him because she made him work really hard for it. Like she just didn't give it up, as soon as they met. She made him wait, and so he feels like, this is a real woman and she's the one for me. So he's really happy with Safari. And he's really happy that he chose Safari over Torin as far as decorating his house. When she first entered the apartment in this particular scene, she came there with three little potted plants. And so Patrick says that he's happy he chose Safari over Torin as far as decorating his apartment. And I'm like, oh, she's already started? Because boy, your apartment looks bare. It looks empty as hell. You got three potted little plants on a lonely little shelf on your wall, and this is the interior decorating that she did. There's like nothing. They were sitting, y'all, on the floor. They were sitting on the floor. What decoration has she done? What decorating has she done in this house? There's like nothing in there. It seems like there was less in his apartment than there was before she started. I was wanting to be blown away because she's really into this Zen stuff, very minimalist. He's got like, man, Safari ran a game on Patrick. Number one, his apartment is empty as hell. Number two, there's no furniture. Number three, there's a corner or a section of his apartment that he calls his meditation room. So Safari, she did the whole Jedi mind trick on him and told him that this particular empty space is a meditation room. And he fell for it, hook, line, and sinker. Y'all, this show. Okay. So then Patrick tells Safari that he talked to Kandi, and Kandi told him not to lose himself in the relationship, so on and so forth, and that he made the decision that he's going to have the housewarming party. And she was like, okay, like I said, why would she even fight him on that if it was so easy for her just to roll over and say, oh, okay, you can have your housewarming party? This is crazy. So we're back at OLG. Chandrika asks Rashad if it was him that told Kandi and Todd about what she said, that they didn't care about their businesses or they didn't care about their restaurant. Rashad says, no, it wasn't me. She goes to ask the waitress Marie. Marie denies that it was her. So then Rashad quickly and expeditiously goes to Don Juan and tells Don Juan, hey, Chandrika just came up to me and she's been, snooping around asking people if we were the ones that told about what she said about Kandi and Todd not being interested or not caring about their business. And so Don Juan was like, okay, I'll handle it. So once again, Don Juan has another outside meeting. So he drags Chandrika outside and he tells her, well, it's come to my attention that you're going around asking people who told us about what you said about Kandi and Todd. And he says to her, first of all, did you say that? And she says, no, I didn't say that. And he was like, oh, really? Then what's this? So then he pulls out his phone and he shows her the footage, the Ring camera footage of her saying, Kandi and Todd don't give a damn about their businesses. And so she looks at that and then so she switches the story around, right? Now she says, well, okay, I said it, but it was told to me. I was just repeating what I heard. Someone told it to me. So it's not like it was my idea. I came up with that whole thought. It was told to me and I was just repeating what somebody else said. And Don Juan was like, okay, so first you said you never even said it. Now you're saying you said it, but it was told to you by someone else. I just need you to admit that you said it. And she was like, okay, yeah, you caught me. I said it. So Chandrika says in her confessional that I did all of this investigating and the whole time it was me. Moving on. So we're still at OLG. The old ladies arrive. And Todd, in his confessional, he talks about how he never really wanted to go to the restaurant and, be a part of the, to like immerse himself in the everyday operations of the restaurant because he says it was not going to be an enjoyable experience for him because he was going to be nitpicking at everything that was wrong. Okay, but Todd, this is your business. This is your project. This is your livelihood. You're talking as if you're going to be criticizing someone else's work. If your business has a lot of problems, then you're the one that needs to be there to fix it. He's acting like, he didn't want to do all this nitpicking and all this criticizing as if he's not responsible for all the things that are wrong with the restaurant. Whatever is wrong with the restaurant, Todd, it's your responsibility to fix it. So you're trying to avoid going to the restaurant because you don't want to see all the things that are wrong with it. But that's what you're supposed to do as the owner. You're supposed to figure out what's wrong and then figure out how to fix it. You're supposed to know every little tiny thing, every little tiny detail that is wrong about your restaurant. Oh, Jesus. So he relents. He goes to the damn restaurant. So him and Kandi and the old ladies, they go there. They try to do one shift in the kitchen, and the food. So he's working the eggs, the mac and cheese station, whatever station they put him on. The bottom line is it's a hot mess. People keep sending the food back because it's too cold. Nobody wants to eat cold food when you're in a sit down restaurant expecting it to be hot. If McDonald's can give me hot food, I'm paying the extra money to sit down in your establishment. I'm expecting hot piping food. So the food keeps on getting sent back. Todd is getting frustrated. Like, it was hot when I gave it to you. It was hot when I gave it to you. Todd. No, sir. That is not how you run a restaurant. You need to figure out what is causing us to serve cold food to our customers. That's the time for you to figure it out. But Todd was in such a rush to end his shift and get the hell out of there. Made no sense. Moving on. So Kandi takes Mama Joyce to Safari's spa so her mom can get a bigger butt. And really, she wants to talk to Safari and figure out, what's really going on between her and Patrick. I do admit that Mama Joyce, for the age that she's at, she's like in her 70s or something, she does have a really nice body. There was no wrinkles, no cellulite. I mean, her thighs, her butt, everything was looking really nice for a woman her age. So the way to make her butt bigger, like I said at the beginning of this review, Safari puts these two big suction cups on each gluteus maximus, 2 suction cups. And they're supposed to it doesn't even matter. Y'all saw it. Y'all know what I'm talking about. I'm not going to waste my time talking about it. But anyways, so this is where Safari tells Kandi that she's been with Patrick for a year. But Kandi had no idea how it was, because in the few minutes that she talked to Patrick at his apartment, she already figured out that Safari was very domineering. But girl, if they've been dating a year, you would have already known that. If it only took you 2 minutes to figure it out from Pat. Anyways, so Safari says that she didn't want people knowing where Patrick lived, and that's why she didn't want to do the housewarming. And Kandi was like, "What?" And then Safari said, "Yeah, because I don't want him to invite people that don't like me." And Kandi says, "Who don't like you?" As if she doesn't know. And then Safari says, obviously, Chandrika. So Kandi was like, yeah, it would be really disrespectful for him to invite Chandrika. I myself, maybe I'm the one that's, a little bit off center. I don't understand what the big deal is about inviting Chandrika. If there's no feelings there, we're not even in a relationship. It was just a wham bam, thank you bam kind of thing. What is the big deal about inviting Chandrika over there? I don't understand it. So then Philip and Don Juan, they meet with Brandon, and they want to talk to Brandon about his fraternizing with the staff being Dominique. So Don Juan pulls out his, reliable little ring camera footage and shows Brandon the footage of him and Dominique kissing in the back office. Do you have ring cameras anywhere else, or is it just in that back office? So he got caught, he can't deny it. And so they're like, okay, so what do you suggest that we do? Brandon is going to suggest to move Dominique to another restaurant for her to go work at Blaze. Okay, but you're the one that's above her. You're the one that's in management. You're the one that should know better. Why would she be the one to have to rearrange her life? That doesn't make any sense, Brandon. So they tell him, no, we're not going to do that. She's not going to be the one to suffer because you made the mistake of going against policy. So he's like, well, we'll just try to keep it really professional and we won't talk. Or he says something about how we're not going to be as, we're going to cool it. We're just going to basically cool it at the restaurant. We're not going to be, doing what we were doing before. We're going to keep it really professional. And they're like, yeah, I don't think that's going to be a good idea either. So there was really no resolution at that time or at that moment, but they didn't fire him. So he goes to the dance studio where your girl is rehearsing, Dominique. He goes over there and he tells her, look, they found out about us because, there was camera footage of us kissing in the back room. So, they're trying to figure out like what to do, and we need to figure out what we need to do. And so she's like, well, I'm not going to go work at Blaze. It's too far from me. Okay, understood. So he said, let's just try to keep it professional, which is what she has suggested from the beginning. So he said, well, let's just try to keep it really professional because, whatever. Let's just not be all lovey-dovey, all up on each other. Okay, but what's the point of that when people already know that y'all are together? So one of y'all is going to have to leave the restaurant. Anyway, so they're not going to break up. I guess neither one of them is going to be moved to another location. They're just going to try to keep it more professional. I'm assuming that's the resolution. I have no idea. But this show is kind of like all over the place. You know what they should have done instead? They should have had OLG, an OLG spinoff. The old ladies, to me, are a lot more interesting than this entire staff. I love it when I'm watching those three women in their confessionals, when they interact with the other people. They are hilarious. I get so much more entertainment from the old ladies than I do from anybody else. Please do a spinoff, Kandi. If you're going to come back and you have your own little spinoff, another spinoff, you need to do an OLG spinoff. Just the three old ladies. I want to see them shopping. I want to see them going on vacation. I want to see them interact with their family members. These women, their confessionals alone carry the whole entire show. Stop playing. Stop playing. Get rid of Melvin. Get rid of this fake relationship between Patrick and Safari. Bring the more old ladies. That's what we need, more old ladies. Anyway, thank you so much for watching my review. If you made it this far, I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much. Please don't forget on your way out to rate the video. And by all means, please don't forget to subscribe. And I will definitely talk to you later. Bye.